This is blinding. Absolutely blinding. I can't see. These glasses have been sitting in my backpack basically forever. That's just their holding place. I don't have a case for them. They're cheap. I don't buy expensive watches other than my Apple Watch, and I don't buy expensive glasses. But coincidentally enough, the places where this is scratched the most is right where my eyes line up in the middle of these. And then looking into the production light, it is it's tough.
Yeah, there was people that came to the show on Saturday, and this is a crazy thing because it's a don't tell show, so everyone should know the location, right? They already have tickets. This is the first time in don't tell history, I think, that people came to the door and was like, "Oh, we don't have tickets," and I was like, "How did you figure? Like, this is
How'd
crazy."
you figure this?
Yeah,
Awesome. Where was the show?
At the Interchange Theater for certain reasons, because our main act has needed a sound system and lighting and stuff. So, but yeah, it was crazy. But one of the people was like, "Yeah, here you go." So we have a QR code that you can just scan and get the tickets right away. So it's like not a big deal. But the whole thing was, she was like, "Can I wear my sunglasses though?" And I was like, "Sure, I guess." I mean, that's more up to you. Yeah, it's more up to you.
It's a personal choice. Yeah, that was. I thought something was off there for a second because I was like, "Why do I hear you too well in the room?" And then it was way too loud in the headphones. That's interesting though. Like the Interchange Theater in Milwaukee is not like a. I mean, I guess it's like a popular thing, but it's not a popular thing. It's not like the Orpheum or the Majestic or something like that, or the Paps, where people just walk up day of and be like, "Can I get tickets?" This is like, I would consider like an underground, hey, there used to be shows here for a church, now we do stand-up comedy kind of thing. It's weird that someone would just like walk up to that and be like, I wonder if someone's doing something inside today.
Yeah, it was great. And I think they might have came to like other shows and they assumed that this same type of show was going on Saturday, because they usually have shows there on Saturday, but we had something else,
I guess I didn't listen, but like, did you let them in even though they didn't have tickets?
Yeah, we have a QR code that you easily can scan and get tickets right away. Like, it's not like hard, and it was well enough before the show that the show hasn't started or anything,
And so it just wasn't a sold out one. Damn.
It was. Well, it is and isn't. So I can always change add more. I can always do that, and that's no problem to me. So
who was the headliner?
Headliner was Zach Zucker, which is a comedian out of New York. He lives in LA now. He does a one-man show called Jack Tucker.
I know exactly who you're talking about. Is that the guy that looks sweaty?
Yes, he doses himself with water. He has a bunch of props. He has a bunch of cues and a sound guy, and he is an incredible talent. It is unreal to watch him perform. I got to see him 2 nights in a row, and it is going from 0 to 100 so quickly. He's so fast, and the sound guy is so good that it almost is like they're both performing. It is unreal.
So he brings his own song. Interesting. Yeah, I would have liked to see that one. I do want to see him live once.
Yeah. The only problem is setting it up to know the audience is what you're going to see if you don't know what's about to happen. That makes sense. Like, fair, don't tell us. It's hard because like you don't know what's going to happen. So I'd be like, hey guys, this is the character he's doing. You're gonna see basically almost like clown-like humor. It's gonna be lowbrow, highbrow. It's gonna be unibrow. It's gonna be all the brows of comedy, and it's gonna be just relax and enjoy it, and you'll have a great time. And everyone did. Yeah, it was so funny to watch just pockets of audience understand what's happening. And by the end, everyone was in on it, but there was like a group of suburban household that was like, I don't know what is happening. Like, is this guy serious, or like wanting the punchline joke, but he's like falling over, and then cueing the sound like, oh yeah, we planned that, sort of thing. It's like unreal. So
Good. Well, I'm glad it went well. That sounds fun.
Yeah, it's a good
Sounds
time.
fun.
What about you?
I didn't do any of that. I had how do I put it? I had let's see. I had a job interview Friday, and then I went out for the first time in a month Saturday, and because I got my drain out Wednesday, which is
De-drained.
I'm de-drained. They drained it. I had a follow-up with surgery, which could have been an email. And they made me go sit in the waiting room for 30 minutes for them to be like, yeah, we still know where it came from. You look good. Go home. I was like, what the okay. Like, the only questions they asked me, like, are you pooping? I was like, yeah. And he goes, you eating? I'm like, yeah. He goes, how's your energy? I'm like, better. I'm like, okay. Well, just watch yourself. And so now, like, every 2 seconds, I'm, like, touching on this thing to be like, if this thing comes back, I swear to God. But I'm feeling much better than I did last time. Yeah, well, it's closed up. It's embarrassing, like, how small. Like, because I've talked this up. Yeah, that. But I've had 2 procedures, 2 drains, and you'd think it looked like a war zone down there. It doesn't. It looks like I accidentally went to scratch my nuts and just scratched it a little too hard and kind of, like, nicked it a bit. And then it just scabbed over. And now it's just like a little bruise, tiny thing. And, yeah, I should be hopefully good to go soon. Hopefully urology appointment at the end of April doesn't tell me I need a catheter up my ding-a-lang. But, you know, we'll see. So far, so good. But, yeah, I went out for the first time in a month with my buddy Connor. And then Rachel met us up afterwards. And it's interesting. Not drinking for a month and losing 15 pounds, you start to feel it pretty damn quick. I mean, yeah. Pretty damn quick. But I made it through the night. We stayed out late, but I think I might just pace myself well. But it was a good time. It felt good to, like, be a normal. Not that going out and drinking all day or anything like that is normal, but it was the first time in probably 4 or 5 weeks, or really since I've been here, that I kind of felt like in the clear, could take a deep breath, settled. I was like, let's go explore. Let's do something. Let's, like, be friends. Let's just go out, have fun. And it was nice. It was very enjoyable. And then Saturday or Sunday, watched a riveting Masters. Most of it. Watched the first half at home. Then Rach wanted to go for a walk. So we walked to the park, in which she then napped on a hill on top of me in a park. And then I just watched the Masters until about the last 2 holes, came home. And I think I was more nervous than Rory was for the ending of that Masters. Like, many people.
It was insane. And he should have lost that a million times, and he came back and won it. It was just very cool to see. And also something that we'll always remember. We'll be like, oh, yeah, I remember I watched, Rory winning his Grand Slam. So it was cool.
The two Masters I have watched the most of. I love watching the Masters, but let's be honest. Unless you really have nothing going on, you're not watching all day, every day, 4 straight days. You got other stuff going on. You're watching when you can. You're definitely watching probably at the end Sunday if it's a close one, and it's someone like Rory who's going to win a Grand Slam, or someone who's never won one before, or something like that. The 2 I've watched the most was Tigers in 2019 and this one, actually. So kind of cool.
That's pretty crazy. It was great. How was the Rockies game too?
How do I describe the Colorado Rockies without?
They're bad. They're the worst team in the baseball.
They're really not good.
Yeah.
And I want to use positive words. They're really not good. And people do come out to the games, but not in masses. Now, granted, I went to a Wednesday night game. However, I would equate it to a Monday or Tuesday afternoon game in Milwaukee. It was pretty minimal. Now, we have a different culture in Milwaukee where we have the parking lot. Everyone's boozing. You're having fun. It's a tailgate culture. People like to go in. Colorado has something unique where they have their rooftop bar, which Rachel made a good point. If this was in Milwaukee, there would be an increased number of deaths in that surrounding area. But essentially, it's all standing only. You just go up. You could any ticket you want. You just go up there. there's 2 stories of bars, and then it's just an overlook onto the field from, like, I don't know, right field, I believe.
Yeah.
And we just watched it from there. And it was, I think that game we won 10-2, which was nice. But there were more people, I would venture to say, in this rooftop area than there were in the rest of the stadium.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it's just a fun experience. I love the Rocky Stadium. It's a cool stadium.
Yeah, it's fun. It's got a great view overlooking the mountains, especially when it's clear and
And
sunny
then
out.
across the street, what is it called? McKinney Park, McKinney something.
Dude, I haven't been here that long. No, across the street.
Is
Across the street is like where I live. No, there's no
What's-
park.
no? It's like a shopping. It's like a bunch of shops, and then it has this giant huge TV, and you can sit on this hill to watch it. And there's
McGregor Square.
McGregor Square. There you go, McGregor Square.
Not McGigger, but yeah, McGregor
I don't know.
Square.
I'm not
Yeah,
from there.
it's
Leave me
just
alone.
it's like there's like apartment buildings, and then there's some
Yeah.
like a food hall on the bottom, and there's a big opening, and you could watch games in there, and
Yeah.
that's surprisingly dead too, unless probably when the Avs are in the playoffs or the Nuggets, but no
Yeah.
one's there for baseball. I've seen more people watching soccer games, just random soccer games in there
Yeah,
than anything.
I think when I was there, I think tennis was on, and I went there, and because you got those beer cards where you can just
Yeah.
fill your own beer up, and then it just goes on your card. So that was fun. I like
Yeah.
that place.
Speaking of which, those. I don't know if I'm a fan of the pour your own beer. I really don't think I am. One, because they're all kegs. And so we actually went to one of these Saturday night just for one beer. But they give you a card or whatever. And then at the end, you just give them your cards. They total you up and you're good to go. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Easy. What I don't like is I've been to one in North Carolina. Afterwards, they do an automatic gratuity on there. Who the fuck
Yep.
am I tipping? That money should be going back to me. Okay?
The people that restock the kegs and things.
No, absolutely not. You tip based on service provided to you directly. That's a behind the scenes action. If we're doing that, I'll tip the maintenance guy that opened the doors earlier today. Absolutely not. I don't like that. It's the automatic tip. Now, I don't know if there was an automatic tip on this one. I don't think there was. But obviously, they give you a price, and it's per ounce or whatever, or per seconds poured, but I'm pretty sure it's per ounce. One, who's measuring it? Is the system that accurate? Two, I poured my beer, and it must have been a fresh keg, all foam. I was pissed. I was like, now I'm pouring 2 beers, and I'm not getting one. If this was
Yeah.
an actual real-life human being, they go, hey, this isn't the quality you deserve. Let's get you an actual beer and stuff like that. I wasn't happy. I wasn't really thrilled with the service or lack thereof and the quality, but
Shocked that.
I have high
You-
standards in the food and
Yes.
beverage industry. If you're going to eliminate people who are providing a service from a food or beverage industry or establishment, your automation or whatever it is that you're replacing it with better be fucking good, because otherwise you are probably paying an equal amount and not getting anyone who can correct errors.
Yeah,
Like,
I think for me personally, I'm a big tipper. I'm like, all right, well, whatever. I mean, if I, do it myself, I'll still tip. Like it's just a nice thing to do. And with those things, I enjoy the freedom of getting to try different stuff. That's my whole thing. It's like
yeah, but you
I'm-
can do that with
I'm there for
someone
the-
else too.
yeah, of course, but it's like, if you ever go to like a craft brewery and then you just order one, and you're like, and you start drinking, and you're like, this sucks. I paid $9 for this, and then I have to drink all of it now because of that.
I will
This
give
gives you
that.
the freedom to bop around and try a little bit.
I'll give you that, because it is annoying and you feel bad going up to like a brewery and be like, hey, can I try? Like, you feel like 2, 3 is like comfortable. But if they have
Yeah.
a large selection, like, I can't ask to try 6 or
Well,
7.
also
The
if
other
it's
one,
busy.
Yeah, if it's busy. Some bartenders are like, if it's not busy, fucking try them all, and we'll find you
exactly.
the right place. But I guess this one, yes, it does give you the option to try. I just don't like. I think some of the negatives are outweighing the positives. I feel like the positive is just you could sample a few beers and that's it. But I got all foam. I paid for 2 beers and I got 1. Don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Yeah.
And the tipping thing, I used to be a bartender. I get it. I like you live off your tips, but it depends. Like the tip is your service provided, and if you're not providing a service, like I've drastically reduced the amount of times I'm tipping. Coffee shops, go fuck yourself. Are you kidding me? I get a black coffee, you turn that screen around. Would you like to tip 45% and that's your minimal one? Absolutely not. 0. No tip. I'll take the extra time to hit other 0.00. No, you went over, did this. No, you to ask someone for a tip when you order a black coffee, I should get a discount. No way. I'm all for tipping big and tipping well if someone provides you a good service, but we've gone too far with tipping culture, and I think people are expecting too much for bare minimum service.
You know who lives off their tips? Or lives off a tip? Your mom.
This is Judd's last episode on Fat Podcast.
If Jack was here, he would love that. Jack would have loved that one.
He
would
would
have been all about it.
He would have. Maybe if I do it right, I'll edit him in. I'll find a video. I'm not going to find a video of you guys high-fiving before. That would take way too long.
Would take way too long, and you would not be happy about it.
No, absolutely not.
I'm going to probably stop my camera because we're going to go into the game now.
Okay.
The game.
Oh, yeah. What was it? It's time to play the game. Bum, 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 bum. Pew, pew, boom, 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 boom. Time for the game, and I'm going to put my game outfit on. I got a hat next to me here. We're going hunting for the right answers.
Well, do you know what Sunday
We're
is?
gonna block out the haters. Sunday is the Lord's Day.
Correct. It is also what?
Easter?
That is also correct. It also is
Easter this Sunday?
It is Easter this Sunday. What else is on Sunday?
Football.
What date? What date is Sunday?
Sunday is the 20th. It's 4. Ooh, we're gonna light it up for Jesus.
It is Hitler's birthday, and that's true. That's true.
Is it really 420?
Yeah, 420 is Hitler's birthday. So, all you pot smokers smoking it for Hitler. Yeah.
I mean, if you hotbox on 420, I feel like that's a hate crime.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna talk all weed-related stuff today because it is gonna be 420. And I have a few funny headlines because you're in a legal state. I'm not in a legal state.
Yeah.
So you probably have more. You see weed a lot more than I see weed.
I don't see it. I smell it probably a lot more.
Yeah, for sure. Which is very funny. Now, but there are plenty of states that are either legal or not. So these headlines are from all 50 states, and they're all kind of like very funny things that happen. And I'll start with the first one.
What am I doing here?
You're gonna guess. Well, I'm gonna ask you a question. You're gonna guess something about the headline. Okay. So I'll start with the first one. Smugglers toss chicken wings and marijuana over a prison fence in what state?
Smugglers toss chicken wings and marijuana over a fence?
Over a prison fence.
Over a prison fence in what state? Chicken wings. Huh. Well,
so they threw it into the prison. So they threw it
my deductive reasoning. I am going to say Georgia.
Oh, it is Mississippi.
Close. I was close. Would you like me to explain my reasoning there?
Well, hang on. The next part of the question. These masked men tossed what laced product over the fence in Jackson, Mississippi? What did they throw over technically? It was they put the chicken wings and the marijuana in something to throw it over. What did they do?
Ooh. They put it in like what was their container? What was their vessel?
Yes.
Was it a KFC bucket?
No. It was actually a bunch of footballs.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah, but they're throwing footballs into the prison.
Yeah, but it's an easy toss, and it's less, I would say, conspicuous. Is that the right word? Than a bucket of KFC chicken.
Yeah, no guard's gonna see. Oh, man, look at that football coming over the top.
Well, maybe it's what kind of prison is it? Is it like a child prison where like they have basketballs and footballs and stuff like that? Is a football
can you explain
technically
what a child prison is?
Like a juvenile detention facility?
Yeah, I don't think that's called a prison.
You know what I mean?
Anyways.
But like, is a football considered too sharp for prison? Longest Yard had them. I
don't think so. Yeah, I think they can have them. I don't know, but yeah, they obviously didn't get to the prisoners because the guards caught them.
Where do you think they draw the line on sporting equipment in a prison yard?
You
like
get
a basketball.
I mean,
basketball
all
fine.
These things.
They have weights, but I think that's wild to me.
Yeah, I don't think they have free weights. I think they have like certain,
just machines.
Yeah, or like the bench presses, like the blocks are only for the people that are on good behavior and stuff,
I guess, because, like, think about it. Like a 10-pound plate, you could beat the shit out of someone with that.
Yeah, for sure.
Soccer ball, fine. I feel like baseball bat, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Tennis racket, no. There's definitely not a putting green.
I think it all depends on the prison.
Okay.
All right, next question. Martha Stewart eats how many gummies per day?
Are we talking gummies or gummies?
Gummies. We're talking
how many gummies? I think it depends on the dosage. And who she's with. Is she cooking with Snoop that day, or is she just cooking at home?
This is her account. She eats this many gummies per day.
I need to know the dosage. I would say 5 gummies, 100 milligrams. 20 apiece.
I don't know the milligrams, but she says that she has 20 a day.
20 gummies?
That seems like a lot, right? Isn't that too much?
But you know what? I would give me half point because then I think they're all 5 milligram. Because if she's having 20 gummies, 10 is even a lot. 200 milligrams of weed a day for a woman of her stature and age and grace? Absolutely not.
Yeah. Next question. What fast food restaurant had an employee fired after a kid's meal contained a surprise side of cannabis?
McDonald's?
Ooh, it is Burger King.
Oh, I was thinking McDonald's was really only with kids' meals. Honestly, it could have been all of them.
Yeah. I know. Isn't it like, imagine just opening up a kid's meal and being like, oh, there's weed in here. And then the guy behind the counter is like, where's my weed?
These aren't the nuggets I ordered.
Yeah. The guy's probably pissed. Oh, man.
Well, there was a, what was it? There was a daycare in Oak Creek. I think I've told you this. There was a daycare in Oak Creek that some of the kids tested positive for cocaine, which I think is funny because some adult left a daycare with a bag of baby formula then and is pissed.
Yeah, that is so funny that they also were probably the most chaotic kids ever. Just shaking.
Yeah, absolutely.
What state did this Uber Eats driver accidentally deliver a burrito that was wrapped up actually to be marijuana?
It's a good smuggling technique, so I'm going to have to go near the southern border. I'm going to go Arizona.
New Jersey.
New Jersey, really?
I know. That was surprising.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would think New Jersey would be like, a marijuana stuffed crust pizza or something like that.
Some deep dish pizza in the Midwest.
Yeah, exactly.
All All right, next one is a YouTuber smoked marijuana grown from what to fulfill a dying wish?
Smoked it from what? A YouTuber.
To fulfill a dying wish.
Like the vessel and how they smoked? You mean like
I
apple or bong or...
No, I believe it's the marijuana was grown from this.
Is it from like the ashes of a loved one, or is it?
That is correct. That is
Holy
correct.
Shit, that's
her
morbid.
Her father's ashes, and she said it was his dying wish.
That reminds me of the. You ever seen Due Date? With Zach Galifianakis? Yeah, where Galifianakis makes coffee, and he's like, "Oh, this is good." And he's like, "Oh yeah, I used the tin, and it was actually his father's ashes." He made
Yeah, that's a good one. This next one is close to home technically. Marijuana Van Dyke is an American education professional, and Van Dyke has her PhD from Cardinal Stritch University in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. She has a wild first name. Her actual real first name is Marijuana. But even crazier, what is her middle name?
Jane.
You think it's Marijuana Van Dyke?
No, Jane.
Oh, Jane. Marijuana Jane Van Dyke. That would be very funny. Incorrect. That would be a very good guess. Her middle name, Pepsi.
I think her parents were frequent visitors of 7-Eleven.
Yeah, I think their parents they're like, hey, what have we had today, or what's around us?
They definitely were fighting. Like, well, what do you love? I'm like, well, you can have the middle name. I'll take the first.
I love marijuana, but you love Pepsi.
MPVD.
Yeah, but she abstains from marijuana, but partakes in some Pepsi. This one hits close to your home. A plant resembling a marijuana plant was discovered in the garden of the Colorado governor's mansion. How was it discovered?
A plant resembling marijuana?
Was it discovered in the garden of the Colorado governor's mansion?
Did
How
one
was
of their
it discovered?
kids try smoking it?
Ooh, that's a good one. No, it was discovered after someone watched a video of a MTV Cribs like walkthrough of the governor's mansion.
Interesting. What kind of plant is it?
And then they called the police, and the police came out and it was marijuana.
What a fucking narc. Are you kidding me?
I know.
Those would be the kind of people who even watch a walkthrough of the governor's mansion.
Yeah.
As people were like, you know what? I don't think he's fit. I don't like his plants. What kind of plant? Do you know what kind of plant looks like the governor's or the marijuana plant?
Poison ivy? I don't know. No, I don't know. Okay. I don't know.
Oh, what if he smoked poison ivy?
I probably have an itchy throat.
Lung.
Yeah, probably. My girl Sydney Sweeney's mother, Lisa Mud Sweeney, is prominent in the cannabis scene for what?
So, Sydney Sweeney's mother, which her name is Mud?
Lisa Mud Sweeney. Wait, wild,
Lisa.
right?
Yeah. Is prominent in the cannabis community for what?
Yes.
Sydney Sweeney being her daughter. Like, that's the only logical answer.
Why would that just be in the cannabis scene?
Well, I mean, it's a scene. It's just
That's
a trickle-down effect. I don't know. Yeah, I'd have no clue. Hit me with it.
She's the David Gruber of the cannabis scene. She's a cannabis lawyer.
Oh. I mean, hey. If you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life.
Yeah. Well, but Sydney Sweeney, however, does not partake in any cannabis, she says.
Oh, yeah. So she says. I can doubt that.
Here's another one. 2 men in New York died from pneumonia after using what as a fertilizer for the marijuana plants? This you will get
their own shit.
Oh, you're so close.
Dog
if you
shit?
watched Ace Ventura, you would know this one.
I did. Yeah. Hit me with it.
Guano, bat droppings.
Bat droppings?
Mm-hmm.
How many bat droppings do you need?
I don't know. I think they were like, oh, we need to fertilize it with, yeah.
And they just, do they live in a cave? Where do you get all these bat droppings?
I don't know. Maybe they live in the bat cave.
It's
Maybe
like one
Batman.
of those things where it's like hunters. You're like, hey, we have all this doe urine. Where are you? How? When are you getting this? Whose job is to go get the urine of a doe? How do you get paid for that? Who discovered the right process to extract the urine from a doe? Do you just sit by a stream and hope one drinks too much?
There's some weird jobs out there. There's also like someone who has to, like those famous racehorses. They use their sperm for like other, horses.
Yeah, the horse jacker offers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a wild job. Apparently, it pays very well. Just ask your mother. Nailed it.
That's strike two.
I think we just need to have just Jack just on the other side.
I'll ask him to
All
create
right.
that video too.
Yeah. A Florida man was arrested after he called the police in order to give him a ride home after a drug deal. Okay?
Yeah.
But what stood out was what he tattooed on his forehead. What did this Florida man tattoo on his forehead?
Was it his address?
That'd be very funny. But you're not wrong.
Is it his name?
No, you're close with where he's from. He had the tattoo of the Florida silhouette on his forehead.
What is the famous the boy who lived? It's the boy who Florida'd.
Yeah. Sometimes you Florida too hard.
Yeah, just stamp of approval right there. Drugs, alcohol, all fun, done safely under, with some moderation.
Yeah.
Although I did see a Stanhope bit recently. It's like, listen, if you're gonna enjoy life, you don't do everything in moderation. You do everything in excess in moderation. If that makes sense. And I could be butchering, but it's like, listen, you don't have 1 to 2 beers every night. You have all the beers like once every other week or every 3 weeks. Go out, get fucking hammered, and then don't do that every weekend. I kind of like that. I think that is what leads to stories like this. And for that, I thank all of you.
I think,
I
everything.
like that motto.
Yeah, okay. That's fair. I think everything in moderation. I'm not like, I don't smoke. I don't do any drugs or anything. So I think like if I ever did, it would hit me way harder than someone who has been using it in moderation for a long time, though.
My weed tolerance is just non-existent. We've all dabbled in the Mary Jane. I can legally say that now in this state, and I did every time when I was here when it was legal, allegedly. But my tolerance is low. I can't do it even like by myself. I'm uncomfortable. What's big now here, I'm hearing, is a lot of people are doing the mushrooms. People are loving the mushrooms, the microdosing of the mushrooms. They're growing their mushrooms. They're not selling them. I heard it's actually you can grow mushrooms, you can consume mushrooms. You just can't sell mushrooms in this state.
I saw. Yeah, I think. There's certain things about mushrooms that you can't do, but like even in Wisconsin, you can't sell a certain type of mushroom that doesn't make you trip.
Yeah.
They have to do like backyard deals and stuff. But I don't know what. I woke up on like Saturday morning or Sunday morning, one of the two. I'm scrolling on Facebook and I just see someone like taking mushrooms before like an EDM concert, and I was like, this person has kids. Like, what are you doing? Who posts that? Like they literally just post a selfie of them taking mushrooms and like party's about to start, and then the next video is them up like partying at the EDM festival, and I was like, what? This person has kids.
It is interesting what we find acceptable though for social media, because like that small little bit of mushroom trip, like if they did just like a microdose of mushrooms kind of thing, and if they're posting it, they're probably doing a lot. But if it's like a small amount and it really doesn't affect you, it makes you feel good. If we saw someone do that online, most people would be like, that is absolutely unacceptable behavior, blah, blah, blah. But you taking a few sips of alcohol or showing that you're drunk at a party is completely fine for the most part on social media. It's interesting, but whatever.
Well,
I mean, you got to play the game.
You technically can't show anyone, like on advertising.
Yeah, you can't actually take a sip of alcohol.
You can't, like every one of those beer commercials, no one sips that alcohol, which is wild.
Yeah. Yeah, but that makes sense. It's less promotion. I mean, you're promoting the brand rather than consuming it, I would say. And I guess that's probably a loophole. Like I'm sure cigarettes have a few loopholes. I don't think you see any cigarette commercials. Do you see cigarette commercials anymore?
No. I don't think they're an actual thing.
You should bring back cigarette commercials.
For who?
I don't know, but it should always be after the commercial of the lady. It's like, I started smoking when I was 20 years old.
Yeah, and it was cool. That's how would it say, or what?
But like that's the only way you're allowed to have a cigarette commercial, if it comes before or after that lady, and it just has to be like Marlboro Reds, if you want.
Well, my favorite thing is like who's needing to, like, these commercials, like half these brands, who's needing to know about them? You know, like who in your target market already doesn't know about cigarettes? You know,
it's not that you don't know about cigarettes, but you might not know about the new cigarette brands. It's like having a new vape color or flavor, or whatever.
I forget whose joke this is. It might be Gavigan's, but like or milk. Who's needing to know about milk? Milk has been around for years and years. The Got Milk campaign. What do you mean? Who needs to know about milk?
What was the point of that campaign? Was it to just drink more milk? Was there were we not buying enough milk in like the early 2000s?
I don't know.
Was there a calcium deficiency going around in the early 2000s? Is that what the Got Milk campaign was for? Here's the thing, though. It worked. It was a great campaign. Those posters were all over my high school.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I had Brett Favre in the corner with a little milk mustache for my entire, everything.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't understand it. I was like, I thought it was more just to advertise the athletes and they just like milk.
No. It was Got Milk. That was the whole thing. Yeah, the milk people got them. I don't know.
What would be fun to advertise now that's so unnecessary? I think milk is like a perfect one. Water. But no one's making water.
People package water differently. Like there's
but that's
Fiji
what milk
water
is doing.
and
That's what milk is doing. It's packaged differently. And now it comes from an almond teat. It comes from a cashew teat.
It wasn't like a brand. It was just milk. It was just like, say, hey, you heard about milk? It wasn't like buy Fairlife or buy this. It was just milk. That's all it was.
It's true. Well, that was before the trend of like soy and the lactate stuff and cashew, almond, coconut.
Mm-hmm.
Are there other types of? There's a lot of milks now. Almond.
I think yeah. How many nuts can you make milk out of? Like, can we make pistachio milk?
You could definitely. I bet you could make pistachio milk.
Milk some pistachios tonight. See what happens.
I will. It's going to take a little bit, but I think like with almond milk or like oat milk. Oh, that's another one. Oat milk. It's like you're just blending water and oatmeal and oats. That's it. And then they're like, that's oat milk. Because I guess it has like a milky texture to it. Maybe that's the same thing with almonds. You just blend almonds and water and maybe like salt, and then you strain it, and like this is almond milk, and that's why it's so low in calories. I don't know.
I'll tell you what.
I am talking out of my ass.
I was born and raised at a dairy farm, so it was all just good.
Straight from the
It was
teat.
never any.
You went
skim
from
or
teat to
anything.
teat. That's what you did.
What?
Your mama's teats to your
No.
cow's teats.
Never was breastfed. Sorry, bud.
You weren't breastfed?
I'm adopted. How would that happen?
But no. How early were you adopted?
From birth.
Oh, from birth? Okay, that makes sense. Well, then you went from the bottle teat. You went from the bottle. I forgot you were adopted and homeschooled.
Yeah.
Jewish. Weird of you to bring up Hitler.
Weird of you to say it's his birthday today and you were celebrating it.
I didn't say it was his birthday at all. I thought it was weird that people hotbox on his birthday.
It's wild. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. Well, we'll wrap this up before it gets racist. Yeah. Oh, speaking of, yeah. Here.
Speaking of what?
Rachel goes. Didn't realize it was this weekend is Easter. Yeah. Just found that out myself. I'm gonna respond back. Also, Hitler's birthday.
Yes, I think you should. All right, guys, come to the golf outing, August 23rd. Fat chance. It's been a pleasure. Drink booze better.